Disappointed we lost. You know what? It was a high-level game. We didn't defend in the second half the way we needed to come out with a win. You know what? Give them credit for the things that they did. We've got to be a little bit better, but proud of our effort, and you know, the story of our season is still ahead of us.
Questions for Coach?
Defensively, it seemed like you guys just what do you think went wrong tonight?
Too many points in the paint, too many easy baskets, and then you know what? Freeman hits 2 threes, and if he's 2 for 2 from 3 when he's such a dominant inside guy, you know that makes it even more difficult. So second half, you know, we didn't do a good enough job. The crazy thing is we made more, you know, as many baskets. We shot 60% in the second half too. They shot 54, we shot 60. We didn't make enough stops, and they made their free throws when they needed to.
Hey Rob, when you said the story of your season is still to be determined, basically, you have 4 games left.
Yep.
What is your message to your guys? How do you think they'll respond?
Yeah, we have a big week ahead of us. Like, this is a tough week. You're playing at Ohio, at Akron. Tough week. No matter how good your team was, this is going to be a tough week. And we came down to the last minute at Ohio. We had a putback that got waved off, and there was a foul called on Chris Payton that would have tied the game with a minute to go. And tonight, I think the game was closer than the final score. That's what I think. But we're playing a really good team at home at their place, and it's going to be a tough game. So the next 4 games are going to determine whether or not we play in Cleveland. This loss is not going to determine that these next 4 games will.
How much are you guys talking about?
No, we're talking about that. Of course we are. Yeah, I mean, we won the tournament last year. So, you know, to have a chance to go up there and defend our championship has been a goal all along. So there's 4 games left to get there. And then, you know, we have a lot of work ahead of us. You know, we're not in the position that Akron is or Ohio is, where at the end of the day, once you get up there, I think the only difference is what color jersey you wear, right? Like, one team wears a white jersey and one team wears a blue jersey or whatever. That's the only difference once you get there. So we're trying to get there, and we have some work ahead of us to get to that point.
Coach, so when you see that Tribble tonight, he was pretty disruptive, and I mean, you know, did a lot for them.
Good player, a good player. He's a senior, played well, and I think his drives to the basket and his physicality offensively is where he really had the most impact. We played, you know, about as well as we've played offensively in a while. So, you know, while they have a great defensive team, to me, his impact was more on the offensive end. 6 for 13, 15 points. He's a good player. He's a good player.
With Solinger, I mean, he made some big shots to keep you guys.
Yep.
You know, they have their runs, and you guys have yours. What'd you see out of Solinger?
Jalen's a good player too, and I think the last time we played them, Jalen didn't play very well. He was 2 for 11, and I think he came out with tremendous focus. You know, again, defensively is where our issues were tonight, and they haven't always been there. You know, against Ohio, our issues were offensively. We really struggled in the middle third of the game there. We did a much better job of that tonight, but we didn't keep the ball in front, and we gave up way too many easy baskets on drives, on you know, in the paint, 40 points in the paint for them, and to me that was the difference in the game. Points off turnovers, points in the paint.
So Rob, when you see that defensive breakdown, and it's not what you want, obviously, you've had it at times this season. Is it matchups? Is it effort? What do you? No,
effort was not a problem here tonight at all. I can't question the effort tonight at all. I'd have to watch the film, but to some degree, you got to give them credit. They got good players that drove the ball well, and then, you know, they shot the ball from 3 in the second half, 6 for 10. When you have such a great inside player in Freeman who draws, you know, tremendous attention by the other team, they banked in a 3, which started their run. Sammy Hunter did in the second half. You know, you got to sort of give them credit for doing the things that they needed to do. Michael Dawson had struggled. He shot the ball really well tonight. Give them credit for how they played.
Coach, when you look at Enrique Freeman, you've been in the MAC a long time.
Yeah.
Who's he comparable to during your time as a coach?
I can't think of anybody. The only guy I think of who played for us is Jimmy Hall. Jimmy Hall was 3-time first-team all-conference player. I think he's the only one in the history. He's the only one in the history of our school. I don't know how many there are in the league that have been that. That's who he reminds me of. Jimmy won the regular season championship his junior. He only played 3 years. His sophomore year, won a conference championship. His senior year was all-conference for 3 straight years. That's the only comparison that I can have in that. And their game is different. It's not that their game's the same, but basically you can go into every game with Freeman and John can say, okay, he's going to get 20 and 12. Now it's just, okay, is it 24 and 15 or is it 20 and 16? Like, what is it? But his consistency level, it's just like Jimmy. You put it in the books. It was 18 and 10 every night for Jimmy Hall. And Enrique's the same. Tonight he hit 2 threes, and he made all his free throws. Everybody's making their free throws against us. We got to do it. I don't know how you defend against that, but we're like last in the country in free throw percentage by our opponents. So I think the only thing we could do is try not to let people get there. Yeah.
Put some mirrors out there.
Yeah, something.
Hey, Rob, big picture, did you envision being in this position with 4 games left?
No,
Fight to get
no,
in?
no,
Or has
no.
it been a surprise?
No, I mean, listen, we expected to be in a different spot. We were hoping we'd be in a spot like theirs where at the end of the year we're competing for the conference championship regular season. We're not there for a variety of reasons. That's at this point that's not even it's not relevant to me right now. What's relevant to me is we have to play well here. If we play as well as we did the last 2 games, we will give ourselves, we'll be in Cleveland if we play that well. If we don't, because there have been other moments in the season where we have not played well and our competitive spirit has not been where it needs to be. And because of that, that's why we're in the position we're in. So we need to play with some urgency and compete at a really high level here over the next 2 weeks. And if we do, again, we'll have a road jersey, but we'll be one of the 8 teams that's there. And if we don't, then we'll be really disappointed in how we perform down the stretch.
Yeah, Coach, just when you look back at the season, has it been one of your more challenging seasons?
Yeah, the season's not over. I don't think you can ask me that right now. I think you got to ask me that after the year because, again, I'm just thinking back. You asked me a question about another player. Like we had Jimmy Hall when we went to the NCAA tournament that year. You could have talked to me in early February, and we were really struggling. Then we won 9 out of our last 10, with the only loss, I think, being we beat Akron here, and I think we lost to them at home on senior night. That was the only loss in there. So we still have 4 regular season games to play, and if we play well enough, we'll be in Cleveland. And then, we'll see. Hopefully we play well enough that you don't ask me that question. But then you can ask me that question when the season's over. The season is not over.
Coach, you guys had some runs in this game and were able to get it within 2 at one point. How can you guys just kind of get over that hump in situations like that?
Yeah, you got to guard. That's it. You got to guard. You got to continue to guard at a high level. And again, tonight, we just didn't do enough defensively. First half, we were okay, not great. But in the second half, they scored 51 points. Like, we're not going to win if we give up 51 points in a half. And again, I get the last 2 minutes, maybe we're scrambling around a little bit, but 40 points, 44 points, like they scored without us scrambling around there late. Like, okay, we're not going to beat too many teams that way.
Anything else for Coach?
All right, thank you.
Thank you.